fans of the Pitt finally have a reason to start counting down again. The acclaimed medical drama is returning for its highly anticipated third season in January 2027, bringing back one of its most important characters, Dr. Michael Robby Robinovich, played by Noah Weil. While HBO Max has not yet announced the exact premiere date, the January 2027 window is confirmed, continuing the show's unusual but increasingly popular annual release schedule. The upcoming season is especially interesting because the story will not immediately pick up where Season 2 ended. Instead, Season 3 makes a significant 4-month time jump, moving the story forward to November 12, 2026. That decision gives the writers an opportunity to explore what happened to the doctors and nurses during the months that viewers did not see, while also allowing Robby's sabbatical to become an important part of his character development. At the center of the new season is Robby's return. Season 2 left the veteran physician emotionally exhausted after another brutal stretch in the emergency department. He had reached a point where stepping away from the hospital seemed necessary, with a planned sabbatical giving him a chance to escape the pressure that had been consuming him. But leaving the emergency department does not necessarily mean leaving its problems behind. When Season 3 begins, Robby is back at the hospital, and his return appears to be anything but simple. The first footage released for the new season shows him once again surrounded by the familiar chaos of the emergency room. Instead of returning as a completely refreshed doctor who has solved all of his personal struggles, Robby appears to be carrying much of the emotional weight that made his Season 2 storyline so powerful. That makes his return one of the biggest questions surrounding Season 3. Did the sabbatical actually change Robby? The answer may be more complicated than fans expect. The time away is expected to reveal how Robby dealt with everything that happened before he left. Rather than simply treating the sabbatical as a convenient explanation for his absence, the series appears ready to use those missing months to examine whether he has genuinely begun healing or whether he is simply returning to the same environment with the same unresolved problems. That is particularly important because the Pitt has always been less interested in presenting medicine as a glamorous profession and more interested in showing what the job does to the people who perform it. Every emergency, every difficult decision, and every loss can build up over time. Robby has spent years carrying that burden. And Season 3 will explore what happens when someone who has spent so much time taking care of other people finally has to take care of himself. The 4-month time jump also means that viewers will meet the characters at different points in their personal and professional journeys. According to the creative team, the missing months will not simply be ignored. The writers have been exploring what happened to the characters during that period, allowing Season 3 to reveal how they have changed since the previous finale. And Robby will not be returning to an identical emergency department. Several familiar faces are expected back, including Catherine Lanasa as Dana Evans, Patrick Ball as Dr. Frank Langdon, Isa Briones as Dr. Santos, Taylor Dearden as Dr. King, Fiona Dourif as Dr. McKay, Darren Howell as Dr. Whitaker, Shabana Aziz as Dr. Javadi, and Sapita Mofi as Dr. Al-Hashimi. Aisha Harris, who appeared as Dr. Parker Ellis, has also been promoted to series regular. One major change, however, is the absence of Dr. Samira Mohan, played by Supriya Ganesh. Her departure is one of the most noticeable cast changes heading into the new season, especially because her character had become an important part of the hospital's younger medical team. Season 3 is also expanding its world with new faces. Malachi Beasley joins as medical student Taj Osei, while Cheyenne Perez plays medical student Marisol Elena Zambrano Monterrasa. Rosani Zayas joins the story as physician assistant Vera Delgado. Several recurring patients will also bring new challenges into the emergency department, including characters played by Pruitt Taylor Vince, Jeremy Radin, and Charles Williams. These additions could help keep the show's central formula fresh. The Pitt has always worked because the emergency department feels like a constantly changing ecosystem. Doctors and nurses may be familiar, but the patients arriving through the doors are not. Every new emergency can completely change the direction of a shift. The third season will continue that approach while also exploring broader issues affecting healthcare. Early information about the season suggests that the writers will once again use the hospital environment to address real-world problems, including changes involving Medicare and Medicaid and the effect that healthcare policy can have on hospitals and the people working inside them. That means Season 3 will not simply be about whether Robby can survive another shift. It will also be about whether the people inside the hospital can continue doing their jobs when the system around them keeps changing. One particularly interesting storyline involves the complicated relationships between returning characters. Robby's return is expected to create emotional tension with colleagues who experienced their own difficult moments while he was away. His relationship with Dr. Al-Hashimi remains especially intriguing, while his dynamic with Langdon could also provide another source of tension. The first look at the new season already suggests that Robby's return will not simply be a happy reunion. The show is also expected to continue developing the younger doctors. Javadi, Whitaker, Santos and King have all become increasingly important to the series, and the time jump gives the writers a chance to show how their experiences have shaped them. They are no longer exactly the same inexperienced medical professionals audiences met earlier in the story. Their mistakes, successes and difficult experiences have consequences. That is one of the reasons the time jump could be so valuable. Instead of watching every single moment of their development, viewers will return to the hospital and discover what changed. Some characters may have grown more confident. Others may have become more exhausted. Some relationships may have improved, while others may have become more complicated. And then there is Robby. After everything he endured, he is walking back into the same place that pushed him to the edge. The question is whether he is returning as the same doctor. The answer could determine the emotional direction of the entire season. Production on Season 3 began in June 2026, keeping the series on track for its January 2027 return. That quick production schedule is part of the show's broader strategy to maintain an annual rhythm rather than forcing fans to wait multiple years between seasons. Seasons 1 and 2 premiered only about a year apart, and the third season is following the same pattern. For viewers, that means the wait for more The Pitt is relatively short compared with many modern streaming dramas, but the real excitement is not simply about getting another season, it is about finding out what happens when Dr. Robby walks back through those hospital doors. Season 2 ended with a man who had given everything to his work and was finally forced to question whether he could continue. Season 3 begins after he has had time away, but the emergency room has not suddenly become an easier place. Patients still arrive. Doctors still make impossible decisions. Nurses still work under extraordinary pressure. And the personal problems that follow these healthcare workers do not disappear simply because the shift ends. That combination is what makes Robby's return so compelling. He may have left the hospital for several months, but the story has not left him behind. When The Pitt returns in January 2027, viewers will once again enter the Pittsburgh Emergency Department for another intense shift. The 4-month jump will reveal what happened while everyone was away from the cameras, the cast changes will introduce new possibilities, and Robby's return will bring back one of the show's most emotionally complicated characters. There is no official exact premiere day yet, but one thing is clear, Dr. Robby is clocking back in, and if the first look at Season 3 is any indication, his return is not going to be calm, comfortable or easy. It is going to be another unforgettable day at the Pitt.